It was a cold, moonless night in the heart of a bustling European city. The air carried an eerie stillness, and the narrow cobblestone streets seemed to whisper secrets of their own. A lone figure emerged from the shadows, a man dressed in black, his face partially hidden by a scarf. People who crossed his path felt an inexplicable unease, as if danger itself had taken human form. His name was Adrian Drake, but in whispered tones, he was known only as the Phantom of Justice. Adrian's story began years earlier in a small town in the United States. Born to a family of modest means, he was a bright and ambitious child, with a deep fascination for puzzles and codes. But life had its own cruel plans. At 15, Adrian's family was torn apart by a brutal robbery that left his parents dead and his younger sister missing. The criminals were never caught. That night, Adrian vowed he would never trust the system that had failed him. As Adrian grew older, he became a ghost in society. By day, he was a skilled computer engineer, working on cutting-edge technology. By night, he was something far darker. Using his expertise, Adrian hacked into criminal networks, gathering information on those who thrived on others' suffering. He didn't seek justice through legal channels, he sought vengeance. And vengeance, he believed, required a dangerous mind like his. Adrian's first target was a corrupt politician, who had embezzled millions from a disaster relief fund. The victims, families already struggling to rebuild their lives, were left with nothing. Adrian tracked him for months, uncovering secrets no one else dared to dig up. Then, on a stormy night, the man disappeared. Days later, his confession was leaked to the press, accompanied by damning evidence. The public hailed it as justice, but law enforcement suspected something far more sinister. Word of Adrian's actions spread through the underworld like wildfire. Criminals, corrupt officials, and black market tycoons began to fear the name Phantom. But with every victory, Adrian grew more ruthless. He became judge, jury, and executioner, operating in the shadows with a moral code that only he understood. People began to question, was he a savior or a monster? Detective Clara Hayes, a relentless investigator from Scotland Yard, made it her mission to capture the Phantom. She admired his brilliance but despised his methods. For years, she followed his trail, from Berlin to New York, unraveling the chaos he left behind. Each encounter brought her closer to the man behind the mask, but Adrian was always one step ahead. Adrian's biggest challenge came when he discovered a global human trafficking ring operating under the guise of a luxury trading firm in Geneva. The stakes had never been higher. Adrian infiltrated the network, risking exposure at every turn. With each secret uncovered, he knew he was running out of time. The ring's leaders were powerful, with reach far beyond anything Adrian had faced before. The inevitable showdown came in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Geneva. Adrian stood face to face with the ring's mastermind, a man as cunning as he was cruel. It was a battle of wits, strategy, and pure willpower. Adrian's plans were nearly derailed when Clara Hayes burst onto the scene, determined to arrest him. But in a shocking twist, Clara and Adrian joined forces to bring down the criminals together, albeit with conflicting motives. In the end, the trafficking ring was dismantled, and its leaders brought to justice. But Adrian paid a steep price. Exposed and hunted by the law, he disappeared once again into the shadows, leaving behind a trail of questions. Clara Hayes, though conflicted, chose to keep his identity a secret, knowing the world wasn't ready to face the complexity of a man like Adrian Drake. Adrian Drake was neither hero nor villain. He was a man forged by tragedy, driven by a purpose most would never understand. His actions saved lives, yet his methods left scars. Was he a force of justice, or simply another dangerous man? That, dear viewer, is for you to decide. If this story gripped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.